The piano is a stronghold of New Zealand cinema, one of our first international successes. It was the first time that Kiwi citizens could see the rolling landscapes we call our home without feeling that mix of sentimentalism and shame known as cultural cringe. Through the colonial lens, the piano portrays the land as a utopian space of historylessness, where the settler colonizer could start afresh. The settlers are juxtaposed against the untamed landscape, like how the piano is stuck on the recognisably Kiwi beach. Jane Campion took inspiration from her own family history of settlership, wanting to explore the psychosocial impact of the settlers coming to this new place with different norms.
When the white settlers came to Aotearoa, they brought with them the Gregorian calendar and they just imposed it on this land, and they didn't even notice that they were 6 months out of alignment.
Settler anxiety is the result of this long-term displacement from the homeland.
I've had as much of New Zealand as I can stand.
And the gradual loss of the cultural practices and connection over the generations due to this distance.
It's this place.
A 2010 report found that the first and most important aspect of New Zealandness was our relationship to the land. For the most part, we have ceased to think of ourselves as British or European, leading to the acceptance of the term Pākehā for the descendants of European settlers. As past and current generations grow closer to this land, some of our cultural heritage is lost.
They watched the stars. They were different stars, of course, but I've grown up here with these Southern Hemisphere stars.
This can leave Pākehā in a state of cultural flux. Where do I belong to? Is it okay for me to connect to a land my ancestors colonised?
This notion of Pākehā paralysis, it's something I really relate to in my own experience of being Pākehā, learning te reo, being challenged about that, becoming rigid, becoming fearful.
The sense of contested belonging can create unease in their identity, resulting in poor mental health outcomes.
When we're grounded in who we are, that's when we're better able to relate to those who are different from us.
Our national cinema in New Zealand is full of stories retelling the violence of the colonial presence. As a result, our scenic landscape is infused with an awareness of what happened here. And every film is flavoured by the knowledge that something bad is about to happen. Sam Neill called this the cinema of unease, expanding upon it in his documentary of the same name.
They would turn their backs on the picturesque. They saw the landscape as a metaphor for a psychological interior and looked to the darker heart of the menacing land.
The piano's legacy continues in the 2023 film The Convert, where a preacher is on a colonial mission to New Zealand. The landscape here is framed as dark and mysterious. Settler anxiety is shown continuously in how Kiwi filmmakers continue to visit the colonial period, using the landscape, God's own clean, green, unspoilt land, to create a sense of the unknown. You never know where you stand. The fact that these techniques are still being used to tell very similar stories in the modern day shows just how relevant the consequences of colonialism still are